Everyone's got something to say, a story inside that needs to come out. Life stories. These aren't the kind of stories you hear every day. Sometimes they're hard to tell, and a lot of the time nobody's even listening. I hate it when that happens, don't you? I know it's hard to believe, but some of the best stories I've heard lately, these stories of a lifetime, are told by people just starting out, young people, like me. Stories About Facing Fear is an ongoing after-school teen storytelling program offered to secondary schools and universities throughout the UK and Spain, open to any and all teens and young adults who want to and need to tell their stories. Held on sites at schools, youth clubs, youth centres, places where students meet. Lasts about an hour, meets once a week, and is made up of about 5 to 20 students. Well, I'm going to stop talking now so you can hear for yourself. This is Amy. I know her really well and I've heard her story before, but it's definitely worth hearing again.
My story is about my younger sister Kelly. She's a happy soul, she was always laughing. When she was 3, she was diagnosed with autism. At the time I was only 5. I just thought she was like any other kid. She laughed, she played. If she fell over, she just brushed it off and got on with it. Mum was always giving her attention, just constantly trying to help her with something or just doing something for her. And I was just left to help myself. And I never really saw her at all during my childhood. She'd take me to the park sometimes with Kelly, but she was always helping her on the swings or helping her on the slide, and I was just left to play by myself. And Dad, yeah, he was around, but to be honest, he didn't seem interested in either me or Kelly. And it really tore Mum and Dad apart, having Kelly the way she is. I didn't notice it much at first, but as the time went on, the arguments started. At night, when Mum thought me and Kelly was in bed, the shouting would start and they'd argue for hours and hours. And the more the arguments went on, Dad started to drink. Cans would be around the living room all the time, and there'd be more in the kitchen waiting for him to drink. When I was 16, Kelly was 14. I come home from school and my nan was there, and she told me that Kelly had been rushed to hospital with alcohol poisoning. She'd found a can that my dad had left about and she drank it, and all the medication that she's on, and just because how young she is, the effects were terrible. My nan explained to me all what happened and really why it happened, and it was then I realised that all this time I thought Kelly was attention seeking and that Mum didn't like me and that she preferred her and that she was her favourite, but it wasn't that at all. It was that Kelly needed all that help. She needed the attention and to protect her and to protect the rest of us. And Mum didn't favouritize her, she just had to help her with things that I didn't need help with. But I still felt that things needed to change between me and Mum and me and Dad and me and Kelly. So I spoke to my nan and she said she'd talk to them for me. And they said that they didn't know how I felt because I'd always put on a brave face and pretended everything was okay. They promised that they'd spend lots more time with me and with Kelly too sometimes. And Mum hired a nanny to look after Kelly when we wanted to spend time together, just me and her. And Dad got help with his drinking and has been sober ever since. And yeah, we argue, like all families do sometimes, but we're getting there. It's kind of like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders, like it feels like it's been sort of inside all this time, and yeah, I'm dealing with it, but it's still sort of like, I think that's like the final piece to it, to just complete and move on, is just to talk about it.
Stories About Facing Fear was created to reduce feelings of social isolation and lack of communication, promote open and honest communication without interruption, acknowledge students while providing no criticism or judgment, and instill confidence and a sense of self-worth and importance. Maybe you're wondering what I'm all about. Sorry, I no longer tell my story. Been there, done that. I'm grateful because my story doesn't live inside me anymore. It's no longer mine. It's out there, somewhere. Now I'm free. You can be too, you know, if you've got a story inside that needs to come out.